Most people think the problem with their blood sugar is what happens after they eat. But that's only half the story, and missing the other half might explain why you felt tired, gained weight around your middle, or noticed your energy crashing in the afternoon even though you've done nothing differently than you did 10 years ago. Your blood sugar isn't just about desserts and sugary drinks. It's about how your body is handling everything you consume, how well you're sleeping, how much you're moving, and even what you're thinking about. Get this wrong, and you're setting yourself up for the exact struggles you're trying to avoid. Get it right, and something almost immediately shifts. Here's what most people miss. If your insulin isn't working efficiently, your blood sugar becomes harder to control no matter how carefully you eat. It's like trying to unlock a door with a key that doesn't fit properly. You can jiggle it all you want, but nothing changes until you fix the actual problem. And the problem isn't always the food. Think about your morning routine. Most people wake up and immediately reach for coffee, maybe some toast or oatmeal. What they don't realize is that depending on what they chose and how they combine it, they're either setting themselves up for stable energy all morning, or they're creating a blood sugar spike that guarantees they'll be searching for a snack by 10 o'clock. The mechanism is simple once you understand it. When your blood sugar rises, your pancreas releases insulin to usher that sugar into your cells. But if you're constantly sending blood sugar up and down all day long, your cells gradually stop listening as effectively to that insulin signal. It's like someone tapping on your shoulder over and over. Eventually, you stop responding. This is called insulin resistance, and it's surprisingly common by the time you reach 50. The good news is that this can be reversed. Not managed. Reversed. The first shift happens with how you structure your meals. Your breakfast choice is more powerful than most people realize. If you start your day with protein and fat before any carbohydrates arrive, something changes immediately. Your blood sugar stays flatter. Your insulin doesn't spike. You feel satisfied longer. This isn't about eating less. It's about eating in the right order and combination. A plate with eggs and avocado before you even touch the toast changes the whole day. Movement throughout the day does something most supplement companies won't tell you because they can't profit from it. A short walk after eating, even just 10 minutes, dramatically improves how your body processes that meal. Your muscles are hungry for glucose. When you move, they pull sugar from your bloodstream without needing as much insulin. This is happening at a cellular level, but you experience it as steadier energy and less afternoon fatigue. Sleep quality affects your blood sugar more than most people understand. When you're sleep deprived, your body produces more cortisol, a stress hormone that actually raises blood sugar even if you haven't eaten anything. It also makes your insulin less effective. This is why someone can do everything right during the day, but still struggle with blood sugar if they're only getting 5 or 6 hours of sleep. This is also fixable. Prioritizing sleep isn't a luxury. It's a metabolic necessity. Stress works similarly to poor sleep. Chronic stress keeps cortisol elevated, which keeps blood sugar elevated and keeps your cells from responding to insulin as effectively. This is why someone can eat perfectly but still not see changes if they're carrying constant emotional or physical stress. The solution isn't to eliminate stress entirely, which is unrealistic. It's to build in practices that genuinely calm your nervous system. This might be walking, it might be breathing exercises, it might be time in nature. Different things work for different people, but something needs to work. Hydration affects blood sugar control more directly than people realize. When you're dehydrated, your blood is more concentrated, which can actually elevate your blood glucose readings. Beyond that, when you drink water instead of reaching for something sweet, you're preventing the spikes that happen in the first place. This sounds simple because it is, but simple doesn't mean easy when you're used to reaching for other beverages. The foods you choose matter, but not in the way you've probably been told. Whole grains are better than refined grains, absolutely, but they're still grains. If your insulin resistance is significant, even healthy grains can create problems. This doesn't mean you can never eat them. It means understanding how your particular body responds and making choices based on that reality rather than generic nutrition advice. Some people do well with moderate amounts of whole grains. Others need to reduce them significantly to see improvement. Fiber is one of the most underrated tools for blood sugar control. When fiber arrives alongside carbohydrates in your meal, it slows down how quickly that carbohydrate enters your bloodstream. The blood sugar rise is gentler. Insulin doesn't spike as dramatically. This is why eating an apple with the skin on creates a different blood sugar response than applesauce. The structure of the food matters. This is also why eating your vegetables first, before the carbohydrate portions of your meal, creates a measurable difference in your blood glucose response. Most people don't realize that the timing between meals matters as much as what's in the meals. If you're constantly eating throughout the day, your insulin never really comes down. Your body never gets a break. This is especially common now with snacking culture. For many people, simply extending the time between eating gives your insulin levels a chance to normalize. This is where the concept of intermittent fasting comes from, though you don't need to be extreme about it. Just allowing 4 to 5 hours between your last meal and your next one can make a measurable difference. What you drink between meals is often where people unknowingly sabotage themselves. Juice, even fresh juice, is essentially liquid sugar. Soda is worse. Even diet soda can trigger insulin release in some people. Coffee with significant amounts of cream and sugar becomes a meal in itself in terms of its metabolic impact. Water, unsweetened tea, and black coffee don't spike blood sugar. Everything else potentially does, even if it's healthy sounding. Certain foods have a reputation they don't deserve, and other foods have a reputation they've managed to escape. Nuts and seeds are often feared because of their fat content, but they're actually excellent for blood sugar control because of their combination of healthy fat, protein, and fiber. Berries are better than other fruits for blood sugar because they're lower in sugar and higher in fiber. Fatty fish isn't just good for your heart. The omega-3 fats in fish actually improve how your cells respond to insulin. Refined seed oils are in almost everything, and they're quietly creating inflammation that makes insulin resistance worse. Switching to olive oil or avocado oil for most of your cooking isn't about weight loss. It's about reducing inflammation at the cellular level and improving how your body handles glucose. Here's where most people miss the second big piece. Your insulin works better when your cells have enough magnesium, chromium, and vitamin D. You don't need to take supplements if your food sources are covered. But most people's aren't. Magnesium-rich foods like pumpkin seeds and leafy greens, vitamin D from sunlight or certain foods, and chromium from sources like broccoli and green beans all play a role. This isn't about perfection. It's about realizing that micronutrient gaps create metabolic gaps. Strength training is different from cardio in terms of blood sugar control. When you build muscle, you're literally creating more storage space for glucose. Muscles are greedy for sugar. The more muscle you have, the more glucose your body can clear from your bloodstream without relying on as much insulin. This doesn't mean becoming a bodybuilder. It means basic resistance training twice a week makes a measurable difference in how your body handles blood sugar. Consistency beats perfection. Someone who eats reasonably well most days and exercises regularly will have better blood sugar control than someone who does perfectly for 3 days and then falls apart. Your body responds to patterns over time, not individual meals. This means you can have a meal that spikes your blood sugar, and it won't destroy your progress if the overall pattern is solid. Monitoring matters, but not in the way you've probably been told. You don't need to obsess over numbers, but having a sense of which foods and combinations create which responses in your body is genuinely useful information. Some people benefit from checking their blood sugar at different times. Others do better with a continuous monitor. Most people benefit from simply noticing how they feel after different meals and connecting that to their energy levels. Managing stress, specifically around food, helps more than you'd expect. If you're constantly anxious about eating the wrong thing or guilty about what you've already eaten, that stress elevates cortisol, which makes blood sugar control harder. This is why shame-based approaches to nutrition often backfire. You need an approach that feels sustainable and kind, not punishing. The biggest shift happens when you stop thinking about blood sugar control as a list of restrictions and start thinking about it as a series of small decisions that add up. Every time you choose protein with your carbohydrates, you're making a choice that improves your blood sugar response. Every time you move after eating, you're making a choice. Every time you prioritize sleep or manage your stress, you're making choices that improve insulin sensitivity. These aren't sacrifices. They're investments. The realistic picture is that you don't need to implement 20 things perfectly to see improvement. Start with the 3 or 4 changes that feel most doable for your life. Master those. Then add more. The people who see lasting improvement are the ones who make gradual changes they can actually sustain, not the ones who try to overhaul everything at once. If you've been struggling with afternoon energy crashes, weight that won't budge, or that nagging feeling that something about your metabolism isn't quite right, your blood sugar balance might be the missing piece. The encouraging part is that this isn't something you're stuck with. It responds to changes you can actually make today. If this resonates with you, I create videos specifically about the practical side of health management for people in this stage of life. What's been your biggest challenge with energy or metabolism? Leave a comment with just a few words about what's been most frustrating for you, and let me know if you'd like me to make a video about that specific situation.